fans, or afternoon, depending upon when you're watching us. It's the Sports Report, my friend Gary Patterson and I. And we got an awful lot to cover today, so we're going to get right at it.
Okay.
We're going to tackle the Patriots first.
All right, sounds good.
The Pats are a 4.5-point favorite for Sunday's game against Buffalo. Is that a gift?
Well, it sure sounds like it. I'm assuming Garoppolo is going to be playing quarterback.
Yeah.
Is what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
And if he's playing quarterback, then I would probably lay that 4.5 points rather happily.
Here is...
Got Rex making a buffoon of himself
Of course.
already.
We know he'll do that, yeah. That's written in stone.
So
The over-under is off the board.
it's off the board.
Off the board.
They don't know who's playing quarterback.
That's it,
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's got to be it. That's got to be the only reason.
I think so.
Yeah, because if they could both go, and for some reason he decides to start Brissett, then it's going to be a different type of game.
Right.
Yeah.
So you figure in the best case, the Bills are maybe in the teens.
Best case.
Best case,
Yeah.
right? Maybe a little.
Yeah.
help from Patriots.
Although the Texans
I know,
didn't even
but-
get there, and they're a better team than Buffalo.
Yeah, it's unusual though in the NFL.
It really
right?
is.
So
Yeah.
you got to figure they'll get in maybe 17.
Yeah, you got to figure, an interception or a fumble recovery or something, well, that somebody picks up and cashes in on. And I got another gift for you. Ole Miss, 14 points over Memphis.
Really?
Yep. I tell you what, Ole Miss is a hell of a football
Yeah.
team there. And they got snake bit twice late in games, you know.
Yeah.
But Memphis is, I think they're going to be in for a very long day.
In all likelihood, but generally I wouldn't touch college.
Yeah.
Those scores are all over the place.
Oh, they
it's
are.
unbelievable.
Yeah, that kid for Ole Miss, Ingram, the receiver.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Looks like a player, huh?
he looks like he's going to be high on the board.
I'm sure he will be.
Yeah, but now another thing too. By the way, I got these things in no particular order. LSU fired Les Miles,
Yeah.
and he's got the second highest amount of wins of any coach that's ever coached LSU. And it's not, it's 114 wins, 34 losses. And for the life of me, why? All right, so they're peed off. That they lost a game
1 and
that they
2.
should have won.
Right.
But-
They view it as 2 games they should have won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jeepers Creepers, what do they think that the offensive coordinator is going to be able to do? Well, no, they fired the offensive coordinator too, didn't they? Cam Cameron.
It had to be brewing for. There must,
There had to be
must
something
brewing
going
for a
on.
while.
But this should be now a lost season for LSU.
Yeah.
I mean, they certainly can't put in. The only thing they can change is the kind of enthusiasm the guys put out,
Yeah.
or maybe get the
Well,
guys fired up. But
I think they worry about recruiting too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this is a
Could be.
tough time of year. High school kids are still committing.
Yeah.
And
well, high school kids.
they want to make sure that program is
Yeah.
forward going because Nick Saban's on the other line.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If you're good.
Yeah, and Freeze is on the other line at
Right.
Ole Miss, because they're coming back. And
Yeah.
Georgia last week was undefeated, and Ole Miss knocked them off. They demolished them. But Georgia is on the line. You got enough for it. Florida State. But anyway, then there was this crazy thing that hit the airwaves yesterday, that the Patriots are seriously considering Jimmy Garoppolo to the Cleveland Browns because the trading deadline is November 1st.
Yeah.
And that if Brissett is okay and Brady comes back, why not cash in now? The Browns seem to be playing a little bit of defense, but they still don't really have a quarterback. And that's madness, isn't it?
I think it is madness. I think it's way too early for that. You're going to need to make a Garoppolo decision in the offseason.
Yeah.
And it could go either way, quite frankly.
Oh, it could.
Right?
Yeah. Depends again on
But
Brissett.
I think his price is you know, I think you're talking 2 number 1 picks now, unless it's a Cleveland where we're actually talking about getting the 2nd pick in the draft or the potential first pick in the draft.
Yeah,
or,
yeah. But they do so many stupid things out there at
now,
Cleveland.
if Bill were to get one of those top 5 picks, he'd trade down.
Oh, sure.
He would
sure.
trade,
And
trade down,
he'd end up
somewhere, and he'd restock the 2nd and
Yep.
3rd
He'd
rounds.
get 2 of them in the teens, and he'd get a couple of 2s along with it.
And then he'd trade them down. And
Yep. He's 9 miles ahead of everybody else, I'll tell you.
Those 4th and 5th round picks.
In the last 29 home games at Gillette, the Patriots are 27-2.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And when the Patriots lead at halftime at Gillette, they are 76-0.
Yeah. It's an amazing stat, actually. I mean, this is the
Good
NFL.
Lord.
Yeah, it's an amazing stat, you know.
Yeah. By the way,
Nothing like home cooking.
boy, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Walt Coleman was the referee.
Yeah.
He looks pretty shaky.
Yeah.
I think Walt is really and truly, this has got to be his last year.
Yeah, the officiating in general, they need to improve it. They need to get some young blood in there, younger blood.
They do. In fact, I looked at the games from Sunday, and there's 4 or 5 referees that I wasn't familiar with.
Yeah, well, that may be good.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Getting some good new guys in there.
Gene Steratore, is it?
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's considered one of the best now, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I like it when I see him on TV.
Yeah.
Pats 27, Texans nothing.
Yeah, quite an amazing game to watch, wasn't it?
A complete dismantling of Houston.
It was never in doubt, really. I mean, honestly, once you got halfway through the first quarter, you felt pretty good. Didn't
And
you?
now you see the news in today's paper that Watt is probably done for the season.
He is done. He was put on IR. J.J. Watt. Yep. That's a huge loss for them.
That is. But the poor guy was playing out there.
Maybe it explains why he was totally invisible in that game.
He was.
As the entire defense was.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, one of the most amazing stories so far is the offensive line. They've been terrific. They've protected whoever's playing quarterback. They've opened holes for Blount. And, you figured with Dante it would get better as the season progressed, maybe, with some of these young kids. They came right out of the block in Arizona and played a heck of a game.
Does this
coaching
reflect back from the guy that they plugged in there when Skanecchia left?
Yeah, I don't know how it can't.
Me too.
It's basically the same players.
And that's why. Now, Belichick doesn't do things hastily.
Right.
But he must have looked at that and said, Dante, come on back, babe.
Yeah, we need you.
Yeah, you ain't retiring.
Yeah. Get off the porch.
Oof, man.
But it really has, the offensive line has played terrific.
They have played absolutely terrific.
You got Tooney, the rookie at left guard.
Tooney, yep.
Yeah. You got Andrews, right, undrafted.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable what he does.
Yeah.
But, boy, I'll tell you what, they look like world beaters right now. Now, of course, we've only got 3 games under our belt.
Yeah. One of the big questions for me is as you look down the road, I mean, we're obviously thinking going all the way here.
Oh,
right? Yeah? Everybody is. So, looking down the road, Gronk and Dion Lewis. I mean, is Dion Lewis, even if it's game 10, I'm fine with it being game 10.
Sure.
Is he going to be there in top form in January?
In top form. Those are the words.
Him and Gronk in January.
Yeah. And
Gronk. I start to wonder if we're ever going to see Gronk in September again.
I know.
Under Belichick.
Yeah.
We don't see him in the preseason anymore. And I can see Bill saying, I will gladly sacrifice September for January.
Sure. Right? Absolutely.
And
I think we'll see
the same thing with Dion Lewis.
I think we'll see some Gronk on Sunday.
Yeah, we may.
I think so.
Sounds like he wants to go.
He wants to go, and if he's healthy, there's no reason why he can't. Boston College whipped Wagner.
Wagner, wow, yeah.
42-10.
Start the parade.
Wow. First, how the hell did Wagner even get on that schedule?
Well, you know, it occurred to them that they needed they needed to beat somebody.
Yeah.
Another offer wouldn't be.
And this is it, because if you take a look at the rest of
Yeah,
their
it's not
schedule,
looking
they
pretty.
are not going to win another
Right.
game.
And that's exactly why Wagner was on their schedule.
Karen Garigian's power ratings in the Herald.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's become the greatest expert on football or not, but she's their lead writer now.
Yeah, her and Jeff Howe, right?
Yeah. Jeff Howe does the game-by-game stuff.
Yeah, and
she
the
does all
notebooks
the
and all that.
puff
Yeah.
stories and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Her power rankings, the Pats #1,
Okay.
Buffalo #31.
Yeah, I don't know about that. 31. Who's 32? The Bears? Probably the Bears.
I think it was the Bears, yeah.
They deserve to
Yeah.
be number 32.
I may have it in here someplace, but here we go. The Browns. Now, this was a week old. This
Okay.
did not take into consideration last weekend's games. But I left it. Well, it got the Patriots 3-0, but all the rest were two games. She's got
So
the Browns, the Bills, the Rams, and the Bears at the bottom.
Yeah, and who is number 2 in her?
Steelers.
The Steelers.
Yeah.
So this is before they got dismantled last week by Philly.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think
They got
the
whooped in
Eagles
that
was
game.
in number 15.
They should
I'm
move
sure in her very prestigious ratings,
Yeah.
they'll jump right up.
You know, it's interesting if you think about now who are the teams in the AFC that
Yeah.
we are going to ultimately have to beat to get to the Super Bowl. I'm not sure who it is. I guess the Steelers are still there. The Ravens are 3-0, but I don't know.
That's a week 3-0.
It's a week 3-0.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they've totaled, 15 points
Yeah.
in total?
We're going to play them. We're going to play them in
yeah.
the regular season.
Yeah.
And after that, you know,
who knows?
Texans, but now they've lost Watt.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Osweiler, mediocre so far. right?
Some wag said, after the game with the Pats, now we know why Denver said no thanks.
Yeah, especially with the kid they got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
an amazing story how all the young quarterbacks who are performing.
isn't it an amazing story?
Now let's check back in around week 8 and see how we're
and
doing.
Teddy Bridgewater blew his knee
Right.
out, but and he would have been in that conversation too.
Yeah.
Well, now Karen had another article, so she's got some options. Keep Brady, trade Garoppolo. Mm-hmm. Keep Garoppolo and trade Brady. Keep Brady and Garoppolo and trade Brissett. Let Garoppolo walk and get a 3rd-round compensation pick.
Yeah.
I don't
Not
think
preferable.
that's going to happen, and I don't think keeping Garoppolo and trading Brady is going to happen. I don't think they'll ever trade Brady.
We've got about a 3-year window with Brady and Belichick. Belichick's 64 years old.
That's right. Yeah.
So, I think they're going to try to maximize that window.
Yeah.
And I think that to do that is to trade Garoppolo.
I don't see where they have any choice.
Right.
But you know what? They can trade Garoppolo.
Then you continue to develop
Brissett, and then draft another quarterback with one of the choices they get for Garoppolo.
Right.
And put him behind Brissett. And the beat goes on.
Yeah.
It just seems to me that is the only thing that makes sense. Because otherwise...
And maybe with that window, if you trade Garoppolo, it's not just picks. Maybe you're actually trading for some players
That could be
to
too.
plug into your
Yeah. Although the teams that you would send him to don't necessarily have the cream of the crop as far as players are concerned.
but every team has players.
And I'll tell you what,
Even the Browns.
a burner that can stretch the field
Yeah.
would be a sweet addition to this
Plus
team.
some picks, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that.
Because I think under the Trey Garoppolo thing, it's, we're going to try to win 2 more Super Bowls in the
That's
next
right.
4 years.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be Bill will ride off into the
Yep.
sunset. Brady will go to Hollywood.
Bill
And-
has said, when they've asked him, when they've got him in a good situation by somebody that likes him and he likes them, how long are you going to coach? And his answer has been, how long is Brady going to play?
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a part of him, though, who thrives on the challenge of winning
he
without
loves
Brady.
it. Yeah, yeah. And he'd love nothing better than to have Brady retire and have everybody say, well, now the Patriots fall apart.
Right.
And he wins another Super Bowl.
Yeah, that would be the
Oh,
ultimate.
that would be it.
Yeah.
He'd love that. Why the Browns stink? They paid Mingo
Yeah.
like 2 weeks. Let's see here. They paid Mingo 4 weeks before they dumped him to the Patriots a $1,959,000 roster bonus. $2 million they paid him as a roster bonus. Then 4 weeks later, they dumped him to the Patriots for a 5th-round choice.
Yeah, that sounds odd.
It sounds pretty normal for the way they do business
Well, yeah,
out there.
yeah.
Yeah, and you wonder why they stink?
Right.
Holy jumping moly. And the Patriots only owe Mingo his minimum base salary of $675,000 this season.
That's the way they do business.
That is. Get him
Yeah.
at the right price.
Yeah, and he's an interesting player. We'll see what happens with him.
Yeah.
His place on this team might be next year because,
Yeah.
as you know,
That's
basically the entire defense
Yeah.
is our free agents at the end of the year, and
and
we're not
sure,
keeping them. We're not keeping them.
And
all. We're not
you
keeping
know
half of them.
also too that there's a hell of a learning curve too to this defense.
Yeah.
And Mingo can't be expected to pick it up overnight.
Right.
So
So that's the one thing with the Patriots, that concerns me. There's all these free agents, and the only one and you hear of players being extended all around the league.
Yeah.
And the only player we've extended is Slater.
Ninkovich.
And Ninkovich.
Yeah.
Right. So, but no Collins.
Well,
I mean, Collins
is invaluable.
is the key.
He was a
and then,
monster last weekend.
and then the corners, both corners, really, Butler and Ryan.
Yeah.
And
He seems to think, though, that he can just go out back like you go to an apple tree and pick a couple of defenders off.
and at times he has, and quite frankly, at times he hasn't.
Yeah, well, that's right. The 2016 Patriot salary was in the paper the other day.
Was it?
Yeah, very interesting. This is the best way to look at this is the cap hit, I think. Brady is the tops at 14 mil. Nate Solder is second, 10 million.
Yeah.
And that's based on a base salary of 6 million and a signing bonus of 4.1 million.
Prorated, yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Solder looked like a $10 million
that's
football
market
player
value,
last weekend.
For a starting
Yeah.
left tackle who's decent to
Yeah.
good. That's what they cost.
Third was Devin McCourty.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that.
$8 million.
He got the money.
Donta Hightower at 7.7. Sherrod at 6.8. Chris Hogan at 6.6.
Yeah, sounds like a lot.
That seems like, I'm sorry, I missed a player. Gronk is 6.6. Chris Hogan is 5.5, which still.
Still a lot. But a little
Yeah,
better.
I'm not sure that he's going to stretch the field, but
No.
He can go down the sidelines.
Sure-handed type.
Yeah,
You know, you
yeah.
throw him the ball, he'll catch it.
Yeah. It sounds like he should be with the Packers. They like those kind of guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sebastian Vollmer is in at 5.2. And then you get an awful lot of guys.
So I haven't heard Jamie Collins yet.
Jamie Collins.
He's the one we got to sign.
Yeah.
Him and the two corners. I haven't heard. You haven't mentioned Malcolm Butler, of course, because he's making like $600K or something.
Yeah.
And Logan Ryan, he's probably not making a heck of a lot either.
Logan Ryan is a 1.8.
Yeah, for a starting corner.
Mm.
That's pretty good. That's
Jamie Collins, 1.19.
Yeah.
He's playing off his initial rookie contract.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know he's going to be looking to be a $7-8 million player.
Absolutely.
With good reason.
With good reason, that's right. Cheapest two guys on the roster. LeGarrette Blount, $1 million flat. Jimmy Garoppolo, $950,000.
Wow.
They're kind of key performers right now, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'll say.
That's an interesting bunch of stuff there. We had talked before, at least I had talked before, about Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Browns, calling down and ordering the Browns to draft Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football. And here it is in print again. But guess who this writer said the Browns had a lot of interest in, and that was Garoppolo.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that particular draft is going to turn out to be maybe a good draft.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you had Garoppolo taken. Derek Carr was also a second-round pick. High second-round pick.
Yeah, and he's first string and playing well.
Right. So I think the first quarterback in that draft was Bortles, I'm thinking.
I think so.
I think
yes,
it was.
I think you're right.
The book is very much out on him.
That story has a lot more chapters to be.
Derek Carr and Garoppolo look like they might be the best of that draft.
Yeah. And,
second round.
And he stole Garoppolo.
Yeah. Eastern Illinois, you know. Who plays for Eastern Illinois?
That powerhouse. Well, you're waiting for this, I know. But last weekend, the number one game in New England college football was AIC 3 and Pace nothing.
Wow, I'm sorry I missed that.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
And Pace is now 0-3.
That's a tough year for Pace.
So, the things don't look good.
Yeah. Stands are full of friends and family only, and it's painful for them.
Let's see. Pace is the setters.
The pace setters.
Oh, man.
That's too corny to be.
That's just too good to be true. Well, Peter King, Sports Illustrated super brain on football.
Yes, and liberal icon.
Yes.
Yeah.
He picked the 5 greatest NFL coaches.
Okay.
Number 5, Don Shula.
Okay.
Number 4, Chuck Noll.
Yeah, he's deserving.
Number 3, Vince Lombardi.
Okay.
Number 2, Bill Belichick.
Number 2, okay.
Number 1.
We're going back a ways. Paul Brown.
Paul Brown. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, I can't stand the noontime show on WEI. And Christian Fourier drives me nuts.
He's got a lot to say.
He does. And of course, the big O is ridiculous. I mean, but his big argument was you can't compare what happened back 100 years ago to what's happening today. Belichick is the greatest coach. So then someone said, yeah, but look at all the innovations Paul Brown brought to the fore. And look at his consecutive wins and how many championship games he went to and what he accomplished. Yeah, but nobody remembers it. It wasn't even on TV then. Blah, 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 blah. And you're saying to yourself, why do I listen to this? I mean, this guy is an idiot. I mean,
Yeah, coaching's about leadership and results.
that's exactly
Leadership
right.
and results. And if it doesn't in your era.
It transcends time,
If Paul Brown were born now or a peer of Belichick, he'd be great.
Of course he would.
Yeah.
And they said, well, that was then. They played a different brand of football. Yes, but he was the best
Yes, he got the results.
at that
Yep.
time. I mean, Nate Solder, a great game.
Yeah.
He was as good as I've seen him play.
Yeah, he's been playing very well. He kind of came in with the season with a little cloud over his head. You just didn't really know.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? Wondering if he was going to lose a step and people like J.J. Watt were going to be blowing
That's
around him.
exactly right, because he's got the
he's
blind
played-
side,
and
and
he's
he's
played-
important.
He's been terrific.
Yeah, he has. Adrian Peterson and Danny Woodhead hit the DL.
Out for the year.
Yeah. Boy, that's a kick in the wazoo.
Peterson might be back, right, for the playoffs.
Yeah, but you know what? You don't know what he's going to come back looking
Right.
like. That's the thing.
Well, they're talking about week 10 or 11, and so you almost say, well, why don't you just hold them out and have them in the playoffs? Because the Vikings should be in the playoffs.
The Vikings
They're
are
a good team. They have
They,
that defense.
They've found a defense someplace
certainly
along the
have.
way. Yeah.
They certainly have.
Carson Wentz.
Yeah, great start.
I'm telling you, you
He
if
just
you
looks like a quarterback.
yeah,
Too.
and if you wrote a script, this is almost unbelievable. Every year, say, "Oh, I don't believe that." I mean, this kid just doesn't walk in, and all of a sudden, kabongo.
Yeah, we need to be a little, as Parcells would say, don't put him in the Hall of Fame yet,
Exactly.
right? And
Exactly.
we'll see what happens. Because I remember another quarterback that looked fabulous in his first year, and that was RG3. And look what happened.
I don't like those kind of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Undersized scramblers. They're going to get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He took.
And
he didn't learn how to run.
by the way, let's go back to Paul Brown for a second.
Okay.
And let's talk about quarterbacks. Otto Graham was his quarterback. Great football player. But there's a big difference between Otto Graham and Tom Brady.
Okay.
Otto Graham called his own plays.
Yeah.
Okay?
That is a
now
big
they
difference.
started the shuttle deal later on, but the Browns were the only teams doing that, shuttling the guards in and out with plays.
Yeah.
And oftentimes the guards came in with nothing, and they left it for Graham. But you looked at a guy that I liked, I thought was a hell of a football player, Roman Gabriel.
Yeah.
Big, strong-armed, and they said, yeah, but you know what? He doesn't process stuff. He's not the brightest guy. And that was the big knock on him. But he evolved into a hell of a quarterback.
He did. Yeah, I
but
remember him.
it points out, though, the fact that back in those days, those guys called the plays.
Right.
And to compare those quarterbacks with these,
Yeah. Well, I think they don't call the plays today, but the great quarterbacks, Brady, Favre in his day, Aaron Rodgers now,
yes,
they have the audible at the line option.
That's
and they do it all the
exactly right.
time.
They do it all the time.
Depending on what they see, right? Now,
exactly.
they're coached up on that, obviously. That's part of the game plan. When you see this, you should go to that.
Sure. But the formation comes in, that's called in, and,
But I think that, that's one of the big things. You're not really, in our case, you're not really going to get that even from Garoppolo yet.
No.
He's going to have a couple checkdowns and stuff. But
that's right, yeah.
not to what Brady does, where he sits there and he looks it all over and he calls
God.
the plays and everybody shifts because he just called a totally different play.
Yeah. But they're few and far between, those guys.
Right.
Another recent poll, the most disliked NFL player, currently active.
Currently active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an easy one. Colin Kaepernick, 29%.
29% for Kaepernick. Okay.
22 for Jameis Winston.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, so he was mixed up in that sex stuff. They were supposedly.
Well, yeah. Yeah, he had
Yeah.
some issues in college. He
Yeah.
definitely had some issues
Forcing
in college.
his affections on
Yeah,
starstruck young ladies.
right.
Um,
But, in fairness, he was never actually charged with anything.
I don't think so. But
And he appears to have
from what we know,
been towing the line since he came
Yeah.
to the pros.
yeah, and there's a bunch of others that appear to be towing the
Yeah, I
line
know.
too. But
I know.
I think there may be some fishy stuff going on.
Well, there could be, but
Damakong Sioux
yeah.
is third place with 21%, and
Everybody's
that's
a-
because he's a dirty
Yeah,
player.
dirty player, and he's hurt people.
Yeah. Now we get to number 13 and number 10 at
Number
13% and 10%, and I'm very surprised to find these two guys at 13 and 10.
Really?
Yeah. Any guesses?
Tom Brady.
Yeah. 13.
There are Brady haters. There's no question about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
I would have almost thought it might be a little higher.
higher. Yeah.
Yeah.
And number 10%, Ben Roethlisberger.
Right, yeah. Well, he's had some off-the-field issues as well.
Yes, he sure has.
Along
yeah.
the line of what you
Yeah.
just referred to.
And if it wasn't for a friendly DA, he might have been behind bars.
And a
There
rather
wasn't too much doubt about.
large cash settlement.
I think there was probably a rather large cash
You think?
settlement anyway. I thought, I took away from the Houston game, Blunt.
Yeah.
What a bulldozer.
Well, he is. I'm not a huge Blunt guy.
Yeah.
He does his job. Okay, fine. And
And I like Blount a lot.
I like him, and
I'd love to see them use him, and I think they will a little bit later on in the season, out of the backfield as a pass receiver.
well, we'll
Because
see if he starts to wear down.
pity the 180-pound secondary guy that's got to come up and take him head on.
Yeah.
But how about that jump over
Over the
defense?
guy. Yeah.
And this is a 6-foot, 250-pound man.
And dragging those four guys from the 8-yard line into
Yeah.
the end zone was pretty impressive
Yeah,
too.
single-handedly.
Yeah.
But he just flat out wore those people down.
Yeah.
Whew.
You know what? I've never been wild about him, but it's clear Belichick loves the guy.
Yeah, yeah. I'd love a guy like that too.
Generally speaking, he holds on to the ball.
Yeah, yeah. He did have one when he
Yeah.
put it on the ground, but that helmet
That was
came
actually a
in
very
and
nice
that was,
defensive play,
it was
yeah.
terrific play. And it was great to see Gronk out there, and Jamie Collins was just unbelievable.
15 tackles.
Oh,
And a
man.
pick.
We already talked about Solder, but the offensive line was just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, the Texans game, everybody was incredible. Defensive line played well.
But if I had
Secondary
to
played
if I
terrific.
had to give the game ball to one person, it would be Belichick,
Yeah.
because this had his fingerprints all
Yeah.
over it. The play
they-
calling,
And they were so ready to play.
oh boy, were they ever?
And the Texans weren't. It was Thursday night,
Yeah.
They had to travel for a Thursday
Yeah.
night game, which is tough. But
Yeah.
Bill O'Brien had to be very discouraged getting on that flight home,
That couldn't have been a good flight home.
especially when you heard about J.J. Watt. But
Yeah.
they gave a pretty mediocre effort for a team that's supposed to be top tier.
You thought that with them getting off to a 2-0 start and a $72 million quarterback and
Yeah.
all that stuff, man, we'll go up right into the belly of the beast. But by God, we're going to go up there and kick some butt, and they didn't.
And playing a rookie third-string quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a Houston fan, you're going to be
That was discouraging if you're a
pretty damn
Houston fan, yeah.
disappointed. Yeah.
In the previous 2 weeks, the Patriots defense had trouble closing the deal in the second half.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. True story. By
Didn't
the way,
happen last week.
folks, if there's ever been any doubt in your mind about the kind of clout that we carry here with this show, it is growing by leaps and by bounds.
Yeah.
I point today to USA Today Sports Weekly that arrived on my doorstep, not on my doorstep, in my P.O. box this morning. And on page 48 is quite an interesting story. We talked a little bit about, can LSU bring in a big name, the firing of Les Miles?
Yeah.
They talk about Jimbo Fisher, and that's a pipe dream.
Yeah.
Art Briles, Bobby Petrino. There's more trouble there than it's worth. Dabo Swinney, and I don't see him leaving Clemson. He's built that team up pretty darn well.
Yeah.
The last guy I've circled his name here is a pretty interesting name right there.
Oh yeah. He's yeah.
It's Gary Patterson,
right,
folks.
And I'm not crazy about Louisiana, but I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to listen, yes.
Truth in advertising,
Yes.
folks. He's the coach at Texas Christian
TCU,
University.
yes, TCU, yeah.
But anywho, hey, well, let's switch gears to the Red Sox.
Yeah.
We still got some time here. Jeepers creepers, and we got stuff to talk about with them. But first of all, young Mr. Fernandez.
Yeah, what a shame. Just a tragic loss.
24 years old.
Yeah.
Sitting on top of the world.
Yep.
And
tough one.
out with his friends in a speedboat. I guess it was going like hell.
Yeah.
Speed is what they're saying about it anyway. They haven't. I don't know if they've done toxicology stuff.
I don't
yet.
know. Yeah. You know,
They're not reporting it.
Had
if
a
they
fight with
have.
his girlfriend, and his friends were trying to kind of calm him down.
Yeah.
And doesn't sound good.
You know, it doesn't sound good at all. And he died of blunt trauma, not drowning.
Right.
You know,
That's what I figured when I saw the pictures.
Yeah, that had to have been one
that
hell
boat,
of a collision.
When I first saw the pictures Sunday morning, the boat was upside down on that jetty.
Yeah.
So they all, that's when I said, okay.
Two guys were under it, one was floating
yeah,
nearby.
but and the boat had a rather large hull. So 32-foot boat, it had twin engines on it.
Yeah,
so
that thing could go about 1,000,000 miles an
powered
hour.
up.
Yeah. That's just a shame.
It is. And, it's, I've spent a lot of time in Miami. It's almost hard to imagine, even at night, you wouldn't see that jetty. But
it's hard to
most of them
believe
have
at
lights
night
on them.
you'd be out there driving a speedboat.
I like
fast.
to drive boats at night myself,
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, really?
But the thing about it is, when you're out in the open water, you can generally see.
Yeah.
And certainly a jetty, gosh. It's a shame.
It's a shame.
Because he really was a special player.
Yeah.
You come
And
back
Big
from Tommy
Papi
John.
had talked to Red Sox management about trying to trade for him.
Yeah, he was a potential.
Because they felt that Miami would not pay the kid what he was going to want. Wow.
That would have been a tough one to get. I mean, I love that idea too, and I've always been talking about getting another one, get a top rotation starter. He was one of the people I was thinking about, but even beyond that, I think it would have been tough to get him out of Miami.
Well, here's the number one we can
face of the franchise.
Yeah. Here's the number one we can talk about.
Yeah.
John Lester, 19-4, 2.28 earned run average.
Yeah.
And David Ross caught him in this 19th win. Hit a home run.
Hit a home run. I saw that. Yeah.
And they pulled Ross so that he'd get an ovation from the fans because he's retiring.
Yeah.
And he said that's they usually wait for a starting pitcher. They send him back out there so they can come out and pull him and he can get a standing ovation from the fans. He said, I never dreamed that they would do that for a catcher.
Joe Madden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He thinks out of the box. All right, here it is, your general manager time, buddy.
Okay. I'm up to the challenge, Bill.
Who are you going to dress for the playoffs? Abad or Robbie Scott?
If it comes down to those two, I would go with Robbie Scott.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Abad.
good. I'd like to see him keep pitching this week, but
By the way, and this wasn't in the papers, but it's come out now. The hooters and hollerers have it now. But I guess Abad tips his pitches, his breaking ball.
Does he?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised to hear it because he's been terrible.
Yeah, he's been getting killed with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The real thing is what's your roster going to look like? You don't need 5 starters. So how many relievers
That's
do you need
what
to
I think
have?
it was Cafado. Nick Cafado came down to these two. Yeah.
7 relievers or 8 relievers, right?
Yeah. But there's a spot for another lefty reliever. So
right.
Yeah. So
and is it Ross? In my mind, is it Ross?
It's Ross is going to be one of them.
Ross is one of them.
Yeah.
And
it's
it's
Abad or Robbie Scott.
Robbie Scott.
Yeah, that's me too.
And the third name potentially there is Pomeranz because he's not going to be a starter.
He's going to be a long reliever, I guess. So maybe that'll change the jumble up a little bit.
Right. So you start saying, if we say, like to have 7 relievers so you can have an extra bench player. Because if you have 8 relievers, all of a sudden your bench is pretty
That's right. It's
lean.
sparse.
Yeah.
How about this?
So,
yeah.
You're going to have Kimbrel, right?
Yep.
And
Ziegler.
And
Koji.
And Koji is 3.
And Barnes. Matty Barnes.
Barnes
yeah,
is
who,
4.
by the way, has not been real sharp the last couple, 3 weeks.
So there's 4 righties.
Yeah, right.
You're going to have Ross as a lefty. You need that second lefty.
Yeah, and I'd certainly pick Pomeranz over Robbie Scott.
Right, so that leaves you one spot. Would it be Heath Embry or
Heath Embry? Yeah, he's got it locked. I think. Yeah, but here's something interesting too, is that the San Diego kind of pulled the wool over the Red Sox eyes with the double medical reports.
Yeah,
and now it comes out that this was pain in his elbow. He was getting injections for.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised they let it go so easily.
I'm surprised Major League Baseball did nothing except suspend the general manager for 30 days. And damn right well, San Diego is going to say, oh, here's the money.
Yeah.
Come in the dark of the night at the Joe's Bar
Suspending
and
him for
Grill.
30 days, that's useless to the Padres anyway. They're out of it.
That's right.
They're out of it. There's nothing to, what's he doing? This is his quiet time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So he gets suspended when...
What's he doing now? Television interviews?
Right,
I think this team's going to look good. Right. And, that was a bummer of a deal.
Yeah. I was surprised the Sox didn't go back.
Yeah, at the very least, I would have thought the Red Sox would have gone back to San Diego and said, look, we want Espinosa back.
Yeah.
Or the number 1 draft choice in the upcoming amateur draft. But you got to give us something. You say that to the president of baseball, baseball, and say,
I was
look,
surprised.
you can't have this. This isn't an accident. This didn't happen by some clerk mixing the paperwork up.
Right.
This was deliberate.
Because the Marlins did get a trade reversed, right? Mm-hmm. On this very same issue of not putting all the medical stuff in the database.
Very bad.
Yeah.
Gary Sanchez, Rookie of the Year.
Well, he's certainly a viable candidate. The kid looks
think so,
terrific,
too.
doesn't he?
Yeah, this argument that he hasn't played enough games, that's a bunch of baloney.
Yeah.
He's got, 19 or 20 home runs?
Yeah.
Come on.
But, the pitcher in Detroit, Fulmer?
Fulmer.
He has a great case,
Yep.
too. He's been a solid
he's pitched well.
member of a team that, is in the last week still hoping to get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, he's been tough.
Can't go wrong with either one of those guys.
No.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that he didn't play enough either.
Yeah, look, it's what you accomplished when you were up there.
Yeah, and he's a specimen. We're going to be watching him
I saw
for a
him
while.
down at Pawtucket during the early part of the summer. Defensively is what he was sound behind the plate. He made some nice plays. He threw to the bases. And he's a big
kid, yeah.
And he hit the ball hard, and I said, whoa, what have we got here,
He hits the ball hard.
Yeah. Is Brock Holt our new third baseman?
Well, he could be. there's a possibility he could not even make the playoff roster. You know, if they decide to go with 8 relievers, Brock Holt could be the odd man out.
I would. Do you think
because
that,
of Benintendi? I mean, I would play.
Yeah.
I'm starting Benintendi in left over him.
Absolutely.
So, you know, it kind of comes down to, is he on the bench or is Aaron Hill on the bench, I guess. So
Or Travis Shaw.
But, you know, Travis Shaw, then you've got 2 lefties,
Yeah.
right? So the question...
So I would think that Shaw, because he can play third and first both.
I'd take him over. If it came down to Holt and Shaw, I would put Shaw on the roster.
Yeah,
but the question is, do you really want to carry Hill so you have a right-handed bat?
Because he hasn't exactly lit things up.
Right.
Speaking of lighting things up, Xander Bogaerts, 220 since August 1st.
Yeah, he's really struggling.
And actually, it's less than that.
Had a couple of hits last night, but and he looks, to me, he looks tired.
He looks tired. Yeah.
And that's a concern.
Absolutely. So we've got to replace Big Poppy.
Yep.
Edwin Cassione has 42 home runs, 125 RBIs. He's hitting 268. He struck out quite a few times, 134 strikeouts. But boy, I'll tell you, he's a weapon.
He is.
And you know,
depending on what you'd have to.
He can play first base or third base too.
Yeah.
As well as the outfield, sort
of. Yeah.
You
know, I'm still, if there's a spot for one big contract next year, I still want that pitcher.
Yeah, I know, but I think there's a spot for 2 because Big Poppy's going to step down.
He's going to be down, but you know, is Moncada going to be up, and then how does that all mix together?
Moncada's going down to AAA.
Probably.
He's got to. He doesn't even know the rudiments of baseball.
So Encarnacion, if you can get him in here short term, sure.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think
he's for 3 or 4 years,
which
he's probably going to be looking for.
Now, Mark Trumbo is up.
Yeah, he's
grabs.
interesting. He would
248, 45 home runs, 104 runs batted in, but he struck out 166 times.
Yeah.
The one I kind of like is, and I don't know, he's up, and that's Victor Martinez with Detroit.
Yeah.
293, 27 home runs, 86 runs batted in.
We know he can play here.
Yeah, he's a good ball player.
As a DH, he'd be terrific.
I think so, too. I was looking at the stats. Boy, this kid, Brock, B-R-A-C-H for Baltimore.
Terrific.
24 holes, and he's got a 164 earned run average. And Zach Britton, 46 saves, 0.56 earned run average.
Yeah.
Boy, you want to talk about an 8th inning and a 9th inning combo.
Yeah.
Boy, if you can just limp your way towards the 8th and 9th innings, they're unstoppable. By the way, I'm going to tell...
If they hadn't traded
Andrew Miller,
they'd be
lights
right
out
there.
This kid Brock, though, I'm going to call all the surgeons and tell them to stand by because he has got
motion.
one crazy
that
motion.
Whipping type motion of his.
Woof.
Looks like
he's injury getting ready to happen.
Relievers are so fickle.
They are.
I mean,
couple 3 years and then they're gone and somebody else.
Sometimes they come back.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them they don't get 2 years in a row. They're great and then they stink and then they're good and then they stink. And
Andrew Miller though has been pretty darn consistent since the Red Sox made him pitch out of the stretch and calmed that motion of his down.
I would love to get him back.
That has got to be one of the biggest mistakes the Red Sox have. They were only $1 million apart per year.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Well, they did get Rodriguez.
They did.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
Still an open book.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's still an enigma.
He is an enigma.
How about the Yankees? 1-2 line starting lineup. Gardner's hitting 255 and Ellsbury's hitting 258.
Yeah.
And neither one of them look like they're the slightest bit interested in being out there.
Not Ellsbury contract. No. Even at the time, everybody said, we loved him here, but you got to let him go because was it 7 years they gave him?
Yeah, 100 and what,
So
153 million over 7?
he's been hurt
Yeah.
consistently through the years. He was terrible last year. He's terrible this year, and they probably still got a couple more years.
Oh, they got
paying
thrown like about 3 more years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about, never mind this stuff about Big Papi, never mind this stuff about Mookie Betts. How about Dustin Pedroia for MVP?
Yeah, well, he's had a great year,
Hasn't he?
and knock on wood, he's stayed healthy.
And look at his defense.
It's all about terrific Gold
and his
Glove.
leadership.
Yeah,
Oof. Man, I think he should be part of that
always been about
conversation,
health
too.
with him, right?
Yep.
The last couple of years.
By the way, are you ready for the Bill Crane master plan?
Yes.
Mookie Betts to third base next year. JBJ to right field and Andrew Benintendi in center field.
And who's in left?
To be determined.
One of those power hitters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be where we stick Encarnacion or Trumbo and because I'll tell you what they're going to have.
So, Bill,
They're going to have a scrap with Hanley. Hanley wants to be the next DH.
Yes.
So it may be that one of those guys is going to have to be in the field.
Right. First base is a relatively easy position to fill.
Yeah.
And with the list of free agents that you rattled off, they can all play first, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
And you always have Shaw if you don't trade him.
Yeah. I think he's an endangered species, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. He has some value, though. He can.
He does.
Especially
He
in
does.
some of these anemic National League teams.
And
I mean,
somebody has got to
he's
be
a
able
bat.
to straighten his problems out. It's obviously the Red Sox hitting coaches can't do
Yeah.
it, but
well, he's good against righties. He's not so good against lefties. And he's a very streaky hitter.
yeah. What do you think of Koji? He's coming back again.
He's
like
looked
Freddy
really,
Krueger.
He's like Freddy Krueger. He's looked really good, and he still scares the heck out of me, though. Going
With
into
that
the playoffs.
85-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah.
Well, boy, I'll tell you, he's got ice water in his veins.
He does, and he's better than their other alternatives at this point.
Yeah.
But he still scares the heck out of me.
How about Torey Lovello? How long do you think he's going to hang out in the shadows here before he takes a job?
It's unclear, because it needs to be clear to him now that, let's face it, Farrell's back next year. You're not firing him. It's quite likely he's going to be named Manager of the Year, which a lot of us will find astounding, but considering who votes for those awards,
Yeah,
they're
you're
going
right.
to look at results,
You're right.
They're going to look at results. They're going to look at all these players having career years. We end in a very tight race. We end up get hot down the stretch and run away with it. He's not going anywhere, right?
I know. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
How's it about another dilemma for you, Mr. General Manager? Ryan Hannigan.
See you later.
$3.75 million option for next year.
Declined.
$800,000 buyout.
Buyout.
Goodbye.
Yep.
So what do we do with Sandy Leone, Brian Halliday, Christian Vasquez, and Blake Swihart?
If it's me, I'd probably trade Vasquez. Again, I'm after a pitcher. I want
Yep.
another pitcher for next year, another starter, and I need probably a reliever.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. You can't have enough.
There are going to be
relievers.
some reliever free agent options, so
Yeah.
they have a possibility of.
Do we try to re-sign Ziegler? We talked about that last time.
I think you take a close look at what's out there.
Yeah.
He's a viable option, but I think you take a close look.
I think so
at
too.
what's out there.
I think you're absolutely right.
You want him or Melanson, right?
Yeah. We're gonna
they're
give
both
Melanson all kinds of money.
They're both question marks, right?
Yeah.
Melanson, he's been great, right?
He has. Absolutely. With two different clubs in the National League.
He's also going to want 3 years,
He's going to want. Yeah, you're right.
and he's not going to have 3 good years for you, I don't think.
200 hits and 30 home runs before you're 24 years old.
Yeah.
Hal Trotsky, back in 1934 and 1936, did it twice. Joe DiMaggio did it in 1937,
Yeah.
And then it jumped to the modern era. Vlad Guerrero, Nomar Garciaparra, Alex Rodriguez, and Albert Pujols. Now, I can tell you, the reason I said that is Mookie has just moved in with some mighty fine company.
He sure has.
Boy, you could make, well, Nomar probably not. Maybe he will. I don't know, Hall of Fame. But Vlad Guerrero had a great career.
He did.
Rodriguez had a great career. Pujols had a great career. Still has a great career.
Yeah. I don't think Nomar's going to make the Hall of Fame.
I don't think so either. No.
You know, possibility, but the steroid thing.
That steroid thing, yeah. That hasn't reared its ugly head totally yet, but it's going to.
That Sports Illustrated cover came back to
Oh,
haunt him.
that man did it ever. Red Sox pitches. Michael Kopech, 51 innings, 4-1, 1.23 earned run average. Averaged 13.7 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Yeah, good prospect.
Ooh. They get another kid that we
How
don't
far
hear
away is
anything.
he?
Oh, well, that was A-ball. So,
A couple of years anyway.
yeah, 2 years. Yeah, I think Double-A, best case would be Double-A next year, halfway through bring him up to Triple-A, and then maybe think about the following year. But he's a hothead, so it may take another year or two for the maturity to set in. They get another kid by the name of Ronil Rhodes, R-A-U-D-E-S.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, 11-5 at Greenville, and he's got 3 pitches that he can get over the plate. Excellent control. They think a lot of him. There was quite a write-up in their year-end talk about the players in their minor league systems.
They thought a lot about Henry Owens at the same stage, too.
Yeah. Now, that's an interesting thing. What if Henry Owens pitches well tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Does he?
No.
No.
Have a nice winter. No.
Well, friends, we've covered a lot of ground. We got an awful lot of ground to cover in the next couple of weeks. Boy, we got some stuff to talk about as we head to the playoffs.
Fun time of year. Best time of
Tom
year.
Brady comes back.
Yeah.
So we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
I know.
Good night now.
Good night.